So going for a bushwalk tomorrow. Just packed the gear, and we're going to be going to the Heathcote National Park, which is in Sydney, south of Sydney, to the western side of the Princes Highway, sort of to the west of the Royal National Park. We're going to be going to a place called Myuna Pool. These days the track doesn't really show up as being very obvious at all, but it used to be a main track. It used to go to a place called Ripple Rill, so we might even get to Ripple Rill, who knows. But just looking at the map at the moment. So here's Heathcote National Park. I'll just zoom out to give you some context because it's just south of Sydney, like literally that's 5 k's there, so it's only like, there's Cronulla. I'm only talking about less than 10 k's away from Cronulla. Now, Dad and I have been, well, he's been going around this area for about 40 years now. But I grew up in going on hikes here, so it'd be good to go for another walk. So generally you start off at Waterfall, and there's two national parks you can access from Waterfall. It's a really good station to go for a hike. We're going to be heading off into the Heathcote. We're going to be following the Bullawering Trail, which goes to Kingfisher Pool, and then at the junction here with Myuna Creek, which is just past Kingfisher Pool. Then off you go to Myuna Pools, which isn't really shown here. But you go past this little junction here with this track, and there's a little crossing past that, and then you turn left. We'll have a look tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Moving at the station.
You know, these ridiculous looking...
Here's the driver getting in.
Oh, you started this good.
Yeah, I took the key out, so you can put your key in.
Right,
Then we're off.
And the other one was just
Yeah, okay. Waterfall Station. I always thought it was funny how there's a sign saying Sydney, turn right here when you...
Where else are you going to go?
It's a convoluted way to...
Yeah.
Sydney, isn't it?
There's a foot track down... Bushwalk track too.
Oh yeah, that's the other track, isn't it, that goes lower down? Past the...
We'll cross today. First, when you come down, you cross a bike path.
And there's another sign of Sydney there.
Now, I used to leave the car here, but maybe we should...
Well, downward slope is not very good, is it?
No, it'd be better down the end there, because more people come past it here.
Good old waterfall.
These people look like they're civilised, they've got a nice garden.
Yeah, it is a nice garden, isn't it? Got a big camellia there, sort of like the one I've got.
Yes.
Interesting.
Lovely garden, they look after it too. Those people are usually reliable.
Oh, I'll get the packs out. Got these little houses along here.
That's a Myuna.
There is Myuna.
Redone it. I don't remember this being so steep.
No, I don't either. Must have been, eh?
I wonder why there's no one parked over here. No parking signs.
Heathcote National Park. Bullawering track.
If you notice, they don't say no camping and they don't say no fires.
No.
They say that when you get in there.
And this turn off down here, this always comes up quite quicker than I remember. Like, this seemed like a lot further when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, you were small.
You know?
That's how it was.
This seemed like walking, like, it felt like a kilometre or something, you know? But it isn't. But I think they have moved the... No, they haven't moved it, but there's the old pole still there. They've taken the sold sign off though.
They've taken the signs off. They have miles on them. They're interesting.
And here we go, turning left here. It used to be a lot bushier. This used to be really dense undergrowth, and then you go through like a tunnel, you know.
It's been cleared.
And this was hard to see. Now it's all open. And that goes through part of the Moray track, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you join on it
Yeah.
where the causeway is.
Yeah.
You want to go down this way?
Yeah. Heathcote. 8.6 kilos.
It's only 8.6, is it?
Yeah,
I thought
but
it was
it's
16 for some reason.
It's the other side is 15.
15 on the other one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's faster walking on the other one, isn't it? You do the falls.
It is. Don't let that fool you. Even though it's not far, it's quite slow because there's a lot of up and down.
Yeah. Like Eckersley and Kingfisher Pool. So next stop, Kingfisher
You're
Pool.
not going to be walking along there at, you know, 3 and 4 k's an hour or anything like that. You'll be going a
Like
bit slow.
2.
Yeah,
1.5, 2 sort of thing.
probably. I mean, if you sort of pushed it, you can do it. I mean, I've done that in one morning.
Yeah. Down we go. First stop, Kingfisher Pools. And these steps are all new too.
I see people make tracks at the side because the steps are really too hard. Especially at the beginning of the walk.
Getting your knees organised. The sandstone's always a bit of a worry with slipping, isn't it? Always find the loose sand on the rocks can
This is much more open here. They should keep on putting fires through here.
Yeah, it's very open. Because this has been really dense at times where you can't really see any more than 30 foot in front of you.
Yeah, it's like
You can just hear, yeah. Now this is all quite open.
People like open country. Everyone wants it open.
One thing that you always reminds me of this area is the pink angophoras, you know.
Yes.
You don't get angophoras further north. Well, not like that. And the pink ones too, like inland they're all different, aren't they? Whereas on the coast here, the pink angophoras, they're really the main, one of the main trees in the Royal and Heathcote.
Well, it's the best firewood in the world.
Good firewood too. The little branches snap off easily.
Yeah,
Don't camp under an angophora. I forgot how big that little climb is as well. Angophora. More angophoras. Angophora up there.
I'm always a bit slow.
Banksia. Banksia leaves are really good for fires as well. You want to start a campfire, Banksia leaves. One of the best, nice dry ones from around the base. Perfect.
You filming me walking down with trepidation?
Well, I was going to put on fast forward this bit. I was going to have like a sped up version of it. So you fly down at 16 times the speed.
Yeah, well it needs to because I'm always very slow. I've got to be slower than I used to. But I am 83 years old. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good for 83, isn't it?
Yeah. Feels like it's going to tumble down with rain.
It does, doesn't it? A little bit of humidity, the cool
Darker and darker.
coolness. And we've got our raincoats, my rain trousers, and my waterproof socks. I could hike underwater. And that was the old pole there, the old marker pole. An old bit of railway line stuck in the rock, wasn't it? And this is the new marker pole. I always remember that one. It's the only man-made object you come across apart from the wire.
Sometimes you just got to get down on your backside.
Yeah, sometimes the easiest way, isn't it? And we're coming down to your abseil. Now this always used to have a cable attached to it, and there's still the eyelet you can see in the rock there. They took it out. It's far too adventurous having cables in the rock. Now you just got to scramble down there without a cable.
Yeah, don't feel me coming down here. I'm a bit awkward these days.
So as we descended the small cliff, there's been a small rain shower, so rather than get our rain jackets out, we decided just to walk up to this nearby overhang and seek some shelter from natural means. It'd be nice to have a look at the overhang anyway. I don't think I've ever seen the overhang up here before. It's all a lot clearer without all that scrub, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I've had a few clearing fires. It's opened it up. That dark cloud is only directly above us, so it's quite light over there, so I think this might
Just a short-term shower.
come and go.
It's a nice view from the cave anyway. We're just going to stay in our cave for a while. There's a nice little overhang here. Putting it in
Yeah,
the pack.
very, very comfortable little spot.
And a lot of this rock is 200 million year old Hawkesbury sandstone or Sydney sandstone. And you can see the cross bedding in there. Not really that obvious there, but this is like a massive, what's called a massive or a thick homogeneous unit. Then you've got a bedded unit there, and the bedding isn't horizontal, it's on an angle. And it tends to come down like this and then gradually peter out. You can tell which direction's up, which direction's down. And cross bedding. Some good examples of it there as well. So around in this forest here, you got a mixture of Guymere lilies and these ferns. And the Angophora. If you look up there, there's a Guymere lily flower. They're very impressive. They have these big long stalk, comes out of the main base. And you have this right sort of torch-like red flower on the top. Always nice to look at in the green of the bush. So they got a very strong, that main flowering stem. Or are you thinking of the leaves?
The leaves.
So these here, and they're nice and strong to pull on. Yeah. They're quite sharp too, aren't they?
Oh, not too.
Or am I thinking of another thing? There's another grassy thing. Yeah, this one here, that.
Yeah.
That there, that's like razor sharp. I think I'm thinking of that one. There's a small thin bladed one anyway.
Yeah, there is one like that.
They're like razor sharp edges on the leaves.
That's an easier bit of track up to the road, isn't it? Someone's taken a shortcut there.
Yeah, yeah. Looks like the rain might be coming back again.
You notice that those people who just went past.
I just crossed a little creek there. I just wanted to point out, and this is one of my favourite examples actually of cross bedding. Really, really good example. You see the angle on all those beds, highlighted by the weathering, and then on top you've got a horizontal bed. So it's just lobes of sand being deposited, then a new flow of sand comes along and scours out the top of all of those sort of lobes of sand. It makes it look like it's on an angle. It's never been uplifted or folded, it's just the way it's deposited. Anyway, very typical of the Hawkesbury sandstone. I think we're almost at the Causeway, aren't we?
Yeah.
Where my speedboat was.
Well, the first causeway, yeah.
First Causeway.
I think this is the yellow pool. Yeah, I can't see much of the pool anymore. It's all clogged up with globally.
So there's this rock the shape of a speedboat, and I used to sit in it.
There's always a good campsite. Here it might be that bit of flat ground in there.
Oh yeah, it doesn't look that good at the moment, does it?
Well, I think if you walked in it would be a good place to put a tent, right?
Yeah.
You're not far from the yellow pool down here. I think the old track used to go down there. This is the causeway up here.
So there's yellow pool, then there's blue pool. The blue pools is in the Royal, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the big one.
And this is where the Moray track joins on, isn't it?
The Moray track is halfway up the hill.
So you go up there and then left, and that's the Moray track.
Yeah.
And that's the one we turned off on initially.
Yeah.
And then we've got our little causeway here.
This is the
Kingfisher Creek.
Causeway.
Is that Kingfisher Creek? Can't remember.
This is Heathcote Creek.
Heathcote Creek joins into Kingfisher Creek.
Yes.
Kingfisher Pool, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And my speedboat was up here somewhere.
Yeah. You wouldn't think a big rock like that
I think that's part of it there.
washed away, but probably is.
I think it's moved about
Yeah.
20 feet since I was
Yeah.
4 years old.
Yeah.
It used to be there.
Corner. You can just see the original track there. It hits that road, the electricity road, at 90 degrees. And then sharp left.
Yeah, I remember it used to be more like that. And then there was two tracks for a while. And
People
then
use the two,
yeah.
and now they're only using this one.
Scribbly gum.
If you didn't know that was there, you had trouble finding it. And look, someone's got a bit of a campsite there. So over there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there's the campsite through there. And the funny thing I noticed, once you come down off the hill, on this lead up to Kingfisher Pool, you start to see the scribbly gums. This area's always got heaps of scribbly gums. They're all along here, aren't they? But they're not up on the slope for some reason. So they must just like being
very
down
shallow, sandy soils and rocks.
But it's shallow and sandy up on the slope too, isn't it? It must just be the
it is, yeah, but
maybe there's more water here or something.
yeah.
Maybe they like water. But they're always small and stunted looking, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're never big trees.
Yeah.
And I never believed you when you called them scribbly gums, and I always thought people had been riding on them. Initially, you know, when I was a kid I thought, oh yeah, right, there's...
They're actually insects that eat the bark and they just walk around.
Yeah. They're good, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because you can see them all the way up the tree. Yeah. Scribbly gums were my childhood favourite tree, followed by the Angophora. I still like scribbly gums, but you never get these up around the Hunter. Like there's none of these trees, really.
No, there's not.
Even in coastal places. So there's a big difference between Sydney and the Hunter in that way, isn't there?
Yeah.
Angophoras and scribbly gums is probably the thing I can think of. I think you do get some Angophoras up there, but they're far more sparsely occurring, and you get them like at tea gardens. I think they're right on the beach, but only in them places.
Yeah, and you get the different type of Angophora, which has got bark on it, the rough bark Angophora.
This is good, isn't it? Like a little grevillea type Robin Gordon looking thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a red spider flower.
Spider flower.
There's a grey one as well. The red one looks nicer. This is just the time of year for all this. And you can get a bit of pollen out of there and suck on it if you want.
Are they sweet, them ones?
Well, not as sweet as fuchsias, but you should be able to get some. Tastes like honey, isn't it?
Yeah, the single ones, those little ones that look like little trumpets there, they're the best.
They're the fuchsias, yeah. And suck them out. Well, they're still sweet, like sugar.
Yeah, I can't.
Out of that middle trumpet. So now try them.
So just sucking on the back of it?
On just suck it out of there.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There's not much in them, but you can taste the sugar.
Yeah, there's a little bit in that one.
All the honey eaters hang around these things.
This one looks moist.
Yeah, Grevillea.
Those other ones, they're pretty good too. The ones with the single
Yeah, they're the
honeysuckle things. Fuchsias.
More in them. But you have to spend quite a lot of time sucking on all these things just to get even half a spoonful.
It's a hard way to make a living, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't think you'd be off by a booty. There's been a bit of water around here.
Yeah, there's a few little pools of water, isn't there? There's always water in pools along here, isn't there? Like it's very common to get puddles here.
Yeah, but it's been dry for a while. Sandy beach over the other side. I've actually camped over there more than once.
How did you get over there?
Well, I think there might have been a fallen tree or we've swum across. Camped on the other side and you can see there's a lot of foot tracks over there, so people can move.
There's quite a deep pool, isn't it, down there?
Yeah.
Nice sandy. There used to be a rope always hanging off that tree.
That rope would be pretty well old now.
This is Bondel pool, is it? Or?
Yeah, it's probably Bondel pool.
I wonder if there's any Waratahs out at the moment.
They come on in October, it's nearly October, isn't it? I know where there's a whole standing Waratah. There's some up Kingfisher Creek. There should be some up Myuna. There's some creature in the water there on the right hand side. You can see all the
Oh yeah.
ripples under the rock. Monster in the water. He went to get it and there's this huge crayfish.
Alright.
Came out of the water. When he put the belly in, it must have been right over the top of this crayfish and yabby the kind, and anyway it just come up with all the tentacles, and because it was nearly dark he thought it was a monster, so
yeah.
he went fine. He was only young at the time, so
yeah.
Billy went flying, he jumped in the air.
Just a yabby, was it?
Yeah.
Like a big yabby.
Yeah, about that big. You know, with all the tentacles coming off it.
Yep. Scrubby coming into Kingfisher Pool, isn't it? Like you sort of, the trees drop away and you just have this low scrub.
Yeah.
And then you suddenly appear at Kingfisher.
Yeah.
You're always walking through this tunnel of scrub. So for some reason, the trees don't like growing here. I don't know why. Because it doesn't look that different. You're just walking on this sandstone. But you get this, suddenly you're in this sort of more scrubby spot. What's going on here? The sign. Advanced booking required for camping. We're at Kingfisher Pools. There's not many people here at the moment. Normally this is quite a popular spot. This is sort of like the first main camping area when you come into the Heathcote from Waterfall. Let's go and have a look at the main waterfall. The main waterfall at Kingfisher Pools, not Waterfall Town. There's another rock platform though, isn't there? It looks so much different to the last time I saw it.
Well, the waterfall. That's the one you've been out to the waterfall there, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's one of them. I thought there was another one.
That's the overhang. Yeah, well, that would just go down that track a bit more. Reading that rubbish. That's nice, isn't it?
Very nice, yeah. Kingfisher Pools proper. When the Kingfisher Pools fall, the waterfall. And then down there you got the junction with Kingfisher Creek, I suppose, is it?
Yeah, well, this is Heathcote Creek joining
Heathcote, Kingfisher, yep.
It's down there about 100 yards. Look how deep that is. It's really good. You can see those rocks go right down. It's been a lot of rain.
Have you ever seen that empty, or has it always got water in it?
No, I've seen it emptier than that, but it's always got water. This is good now. Plenty of water.
It's hard to go swimming in there, isn't it? How do you get down to it?
Down here.
Oh, okay.
I've been in there in midwinter. You can only do it successfully after you've got to go in straight away.
Yep.
Before you cool down.
Well, I wouldn't mind a swim now, but I didn't bring my
another
swimmers.
little pool just beyond there, and on the right hand side there's an overhang. I've camped in that overhang and it's got a little beach going down to it. And I've come with other people down from Heathcote, and it was really cold, and pulled over there, and I went and took my pack off, and I took my boots off, got in, swam around, come out, all blue. It's very, very invigorating, but you've got to do it as soon as you arrive there. If you wait 5 minutes, you'll cool down, there's no way you're going to get in there, because it's really cold.
Yeah.
And then here, especially it's very deep, you get in there and it's painful. It hurts you.
And it'd still be quite cold at the moment, wouldn't it? Because it's just off winter.
Yeah, it would be just the winter's only just gone now. You go out in the middle there, that's very deep.
Oh, Kingfisher Pools.
It's just opening up, and if you try that one, see if there's any honey in that.
Oh yeah.
Pull that off and suck it. Well, I think it's a bit young. Might not have a lot of honey in it.
No, it's no honey in that one, but that's what they look like.
You squeezed it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only just come out.
Probably a bit young. Yeah.
A bit green here.
So now we're just passing Kingfisher Pool. We're going to head across Kingfisher Creek and onwards to the other junction with the moorway track, where we'll then go up Myuna Creek. This is still an area where a lot of people come, but it's gets quieter as you go in.
It was on
There's a sign up on a tree that you put up here 30 years ago or something, 40 years ago,
longer.
50 years ago.
It was 1975 or before.
And it was up here until reasonably recently. I remember it when I was a kid, the sign was still there.
Yeah.
But now it's must have fallen off.
That had been up there 10 years before you were born. So that'd be like 45, 46 years ago I put that up.
And it was on one of these trees, wasn't it? Was it that one?
That one in there, it was, because it was just where you go down, and it was made from timber from the top of my fence. I brought an extension ladder down here to put it up.
That would have been a slow walk.
No, it's not fun, but I was a bit younger then, of course.
So it was up on that tree, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, up there near the fort. I brought an extension ladder down, went up there and nailed it in, and that stayed there for many years. It finally got eaten by whiteheads.
Then it just fell off, did it?
Yeah, well it gradually decayed, but the decayed bit was up there for a long time. It's gone now. I think the government don't like private people putting signs up, they remove them all.
Yeah.
And somebody's been cutting it, that's a saw.
Oh yeah. So they are maintaining the track a bit.
It wouldn't be the rangers, it would be someone else they boss around. Maybe some work for the Dole school. You've got to be good at walking at 45 degrees here, it should be good for a children's paddock.
Yeah.
Woman, you know, who walks 45 degrees backwards all the time.
Yeah.
Get down there now.
So there's all these boulders here that have washed down the river, around the creek over time.
And we're crossing Kingfisher Creek.
Crossing Kingfisher Creek.
I wonder if them South Africans ever found their way across here. It would have been dark by the time they got here. And it's quite hard finding it.
Yeah, they took a wrong turn, didn't they?
In the dark going across there.
They ended up all the way up at Ripple Rill. And they had to fly back to South Africa the next day, didn't they? Well, we're coming pretty close to that intersection, aren't we?
Yeah, there's still a bit of work to go. Getting closer. There's a bit where we sort of slip around a bit of a bend. You have to squeeze between two fairly large trees.
Yeah, I remember the twin trees thing. So we're just heading pretty close now towards the junction between the Bullawering track and the Moray track. Another really interesting thing about some of the sandstone in this area is the little quartz pebbles. Quite large sometimes, embedded in the sandstone. Originally they would have come out of either granite or a gneiss or a quartz vein. And far further west, some say Broken Hill. The Gaimea lily. Steep drop off down there.
Talking about it's around like that. And you can
Oh, yeah.
see the low country, I think that's where the creek, the other creek comes into the left.
It's very humid, isn't it?
Yes.
When a little bit of rain, sun comes out, you don't get a lot of wind down in these valleys and humidity can just become very high, very steamy.
Forecast on the line this morning the showers for the early part of the week.
Yeah, okay. The showers early part of the week. I find this time of year you've got to be very careful with the clothing because it can be very hot and steamy, humid in the day, but at night time it can still drop off a bit. And you can get changes where the cold front come through. Springtime and autumn weather can be a bit unpredictable. Looks like an old sign that's been put here. Must have rotted away and fallen over and someone just put on the side of the track. Battery Causeway 4 kilometres, Waterfall 3 kilometres. And we're probably not going to go that far today, but the Battery Causeway 4K, that's where you go from being single track like this to being on a fire trail following the main water pipeline from Waratah Dam into Sydney. There's a sign. Just been sitting there, I don't know where that comes from the junction, doesn't it? Someone must have boarded up.
Well, this must be the junction just down here.
Yeah.
The rock zone. It looks like it's fallen down and someone's shot up here.
Yeah, it's not in its proper position, is it?
No, it's not.
It's always a nice pool there. Always seems to have a lot of water in it, even though it's a bit shallow. There we go, big fancy junction. Yeah, I don't. Must be an old sign. They moved up there. So this is the Moray track down there, which will take you back to Waterfall, and that's the track that we initially turned off from near the houses. And the Bullawering track. And we've got a pile of other signs that say exactly the same thing, made out of plastic and metal rather than wood. But interestingly enough, this track looks like it's more used than it used to be. But this is kind of a branch now. This is an old track that used to be a common track, but now most people wouldn't know about it. Following Myuna Creek. It actually looks more well trodden than I thought it would. So we've made it to the pool. Looks a bit different, a bit more overgrown than before. The actual spot up there. Have a look at this nice creek. Running water coming down from Ripple Rill. This is Myuna Creek. And this is Myuna Pool. There's a lovely rock overhang. A waterfall. It's quite deep, it's a very deep pool, this one. Not real easy to get into though. It's very deep. Myuna Pool.
It took me a few years to get to go around the land. Like, so this is Myuna Pool, and then we kept calling it your Myuna Pool.
Well, you'd always say Myuna Pool.
I said Myuna Pool. Yeah, your Myuna Pool.
I always thought you meant Myuna, like I mean your Una.
Yeah.
So it'd always be your Myuna Pool, do Myuna Pool.
Yeah.
So that looks very nice, isn't it? That's actually one of the best pools, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Very small but deep. You've got this nice cave and you've got a waterfall. So I mean, it's almost sort of unknown now. I feel like it's off the beaten track. I don't think people would really. And there's more up there. You go upstream up to Ripple Rill. There's a series of pools all the way up.
Yeah, lovely water.
I mean, we could push on a bit further if you wanted to.
I don't know what the time is. It's difficult finding
No reception.
There's a bit to one side of the creek above them. There's a little bit of a waterfall up there, and then there's a bit to one side that it's a bit rocky and thin. You know?
Well, I just remember there was that naked lady pool or whatever it was. Did you always describe as that?
Were you with me when we went past the naked lady?
No, you remember you telling me that as well.
Yeah. I had to step over.
It's 20 past 1. 20 past 2.
She never saw me, and her boyfriend never saw me either. He was facing the wrong way when I walked past on the, like this, on the wet surface. And he was busy with his tent, turned around. I just walked past him. When I come down, the only way down was one close down by the pool, the water falls down. And with the noise of the water running like that, I stepped down and she's like lying in a spot like that. But I had to actually step over it to get to the other side of the creek. She had her eyes shut. Now I noticed, well, she never knew I was here, that the boyfriend never even saw me. So I deliberately stepped on a branch to break it. And I was on the embankment, and they were looking, and her head popped up. And looked. I just waved and then carried on.
It's hard to believe they wouldn't notice someone stepping over them.
Well, she was right by the waterfall.
Oh, the sound down to the water.
And that noise
Yeah.
was me coming down, going past her. She got rubber boots on. I was just trying myself. Memory.
So we could go up there, or we could just have a cup of tea here. It's a very nice spot, Myuna, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
There's plenty of nice water to boil up the billy as well.
Good water. There's plenty of firewood.
Unless you want to push on to the Naked Lady Pool very far away. It's about halfway to Ripple Rill, isn't
I'm
it?
not sure. Yeah, it's about halfway.
So it'd be another hour, wouldn't it?
Yeah, at least half an hour. I'm not sure.
Because Ripple Rill's like another couple of hours, isn't it?
Oh, maybe not. Yeah, I think about half an hour. Actually.
Well, we could try for Ripple Rill if we felt like it. We can always just turn around and come back.
Yeah, this is a fairly good little site here.
We've got another 3 hours of daylight.
What's the time?
2 o'clock. 20 past 2.
Oh, right, it's still fairly early. Well, it's entirely up to you. This is nicer than the Ripple Rill. The Ripple Rill, you're sort of at a dead end, you know.
Well, it's just there's more open spaces up there than there is here.
Well, it might not be now.
No.
I think it'll be overgrown like this. This was all open space here. You know, you could camp 100 people there. But now it's hard to walk through.
Anyway, Myuna pool.
The old one.
Oh yeah. There's a broken branch here. It does look like a bit of a track here, so I'll just keep following this. So we're at Myuna, but we're going to head up to Ripple Rill. Or at least try to. I wonder whether there's a path up this way. Oh, not really. There's lots of sort of small tracks, but it's probably just around the old camping ground. I mean, we could just follow the creek up for a while, can't we? This is as much of a track as we're going to get here, I think, which is the one we're looking at before. No. You come through here, this seems to look alright. Yeah, once you get past that fallen tree.
Yeah, that's hiding it. I can see where you're walking. I can see a
Yeah. It's always good to look for old formations when you're walking into the sun. You can just see the shape of the track a lot easier into the sun than you can away from it. What's that? Oh yeah. Yeah, breeding cues. So it's indistinct, but you can actually see a path here. That one, I don't know why. I don't think this is just the track to the creek.
This one doesn't look like a very old track. Might have gone that way, but these trees have come across, you know?
Yep. Yeah, the fallen trees can really throw you, can't they? Because it makes it temporarily look like a mess, but when you look beyond it, you can see the formation still.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so we still end up at the creek anyway. Nice creek.
Yeah. I think that's the track there.
Oh yeah, that's what I was on before.
You come down here and you can
Yeah, I do remember this being really right next to the water like that. A nice pool along there, nice long pool. Does it go around where you are?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like there's no track there is.
Nice clear water here.
Yeah.
You can see right through it to the bottom. Waratah, the first Waratah growing on the riverbank. First Waratah of the trip. It's pretty slow going, isn't it? I think we're half a k an hour through all this dense thicket. Yeah, I think we're almost there. I can hear the waterfall.
Oh, right.
I can see you gradually coming.